quick to talk about something that I have noticed. So whenever a person dies by suicide, you would always find the internet going crazy, especially if it's a famous person, someone who is known. I saw this when Spade died by suicide. The entire internet was going off about, if you feel something, say something. We didn't know that she was dealing with depression and all of that. And as much as I can tell you that that's very hypocritical, I want to also talk about it so I can help other people know how and the part that they are playing in this entire thing. All right, so depression is a very funny, and when I say funny, I mean it's not something that we can really explain to the best of our abilities with our words about how a person truly feels inside of them. And so that just defeats the whole premise that a person can say that they want to end their life. Now, there are people that do. There are people that actually leave clues much more than other people, but then there are those that do not leave any clues and any signs. Why? Because mental health is not something that we can explain. It's hard even for the person to be able to understand the way that they feel, talk less of opening up to someone to tell that person that they feel a certain way when they don't understand how they feel. So the first point is, it's not something that is easily explainable. It's not something that a person can just sit and say, hey, I'm feeling sad and I don't know why. I'm feeling crap and I don't know why. I'm feeling lonely and I don't know why. It's a difficult discussion to have. The second thing is, usually being able to open up to another person requires a certain level of vulnerability, to be able to be vulnerable to a point where you can actually bear your heart out. Now, for someone who is dealing with and struggling with their mental health, that's a very difficult thing to do, because even getting them into therapy requires for them to be able to trust their therapist, to be able to open up to the extent that they can be helped to get help. And so that's why the whole premise of if you feel something, say something is really flawed, because I'm just not going to go talk to somebody that I don't know to tell them that I'm struggling with my mind and I cannot even understand or articulate what is it that I'm struggling with. The third thing I want to raise today is we all play a part, and the part that you play is not in typing out on the internet when a person dies by suicide that if you feel something, say something. It's in how we conduct ourselves every day, because everybody walking around has a struggle, has a problem you know nothing about. But then you don't want to be the trigger pull that would take a person to the last end and edge of their life. And how could you be that when you are that bully at work, when you are inconsiderate, when you are lacking in compassion, when you are laughing and making fun of another person? Do you know that those things can push the person over the edge? When you're gathering people to go attack a person, when you are slandering another person, when you don't have kind words, when you are betraying, when you're leaving out a secret that was told to you in all confidence, do you know that those very things can lead a person to the edge and end of their lives? I think we have to do better in asking ourselves that, we just don't want to be kind to the people that we know. We want to be kind even to strangers, because even strangers are dealing with things that we may know nothing about, right? And they could be at the very edge and end of their life. We have to be intentional with our smile, intentional with our compliments, intentional with our compassion, intentional with our kindness, because you never know. It just its me sometimes to see people show a feigned compassion when a person already passes, when I know that in their own personal life and personal space there's nothing kind and nothing compassionate about them. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you that your inconsiderate self has probably led a lot of people to the edge and end of their life. We can do better. Don't do better at another person's end. Do better today by being kind, by being compassionate, by being considerate to the people in your life, to the strangers you come across, because again, we never know. So before you type out, if you feel something, say something, I want you to just take inventory of who you are. What kind of person are you? A bully? What kind of person are you? The one that puts people down? What kind of person are you? Because depending on what the answer is, I could already tell whether you have been the trigger behind one person's desire not to want to be on the side of life. I think we can do better, and I think we should do better.